This is Jim McDonald. Welcome to episode 214 of the PowerCast. When you hear the name Kevin Ogar, a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, he was the guy that got paralyzed doing CrossFit. That wouldn't be the whole picture. In fact, it wouldn't even be the correct picture. He had a freak accident while doing an Olympic lift in a competition that was not sponsored by CrossFit at all. But that's not the whole story either. You can probably remember what the footage looked like, and the footage doesn't tell the whole story either. The whole thing was live streamed, and the video that a lot of people have seen, the one that's replayed all over the place, is not the whole picture. If you ever looked at that and thought, man, I don't even understand what happened, well, there's an explanation for that. And Kevin tells us what's up. He tells us the whole story, what his life was like before. He was a power lifter. Guess he was a power lifter before he started doing CrossFit. And he's still a power lifter now. And how he had to adapt to what happened to him, being paralyzed from sort of the mid-thorax down. This is a great story. He is a great guy. I think that he proves that if you can laugh at yourself, if you don't take yourself too seriously, you can survive pretty much anything. And he just has the best attitude. This is one of my favorite episodes of the year. So please like and share this one with your friends. A lot of people need to hear the kind of messages that Kevin's got in this episode. Like and share. We'll be back next week with celebrity trainer Mike Ryan and some of the craziest stories you have ever heard on this show. Support for this episode of the PowerCast comes from Reebok, home of the legacy lifter at Reebok.com. 8-Man apparel for people who lift heavy weights at 8manstrong.com. Compex muscle stim products at CompexUSA.com. Use the code PowerCast and get an additional 28% discount. HowMuchYouBench.net, home of Mark Bell's Slingshot. Use the code PowerCast and get 15% off Slingshots and free shipping on orders of $100 or more. And Bodybuilding.com, the world's largest fitness website and supplement store. Bodybuilding.com has free plans for every level. Visit Bodybuilding.com today to become your best self.
Recorded live in West Sacramento, California, this is Mark Bell's PowerCast. Standing just to the left of Jim McD, here's your host, Mark Bell.
Are we started?
We're rolling, yep.
Kevin seems to be confused about the script.
Yeah.
Jess, did you send Kevin the script? He was supposed to talk about how he...
I did not check my MySpace. See, there's a problem.
You didn't check your MySpace messages? You didn't check in there?
No, I haven't checked those in 12 years.
Were you going to have him talk about how big his hands are? I mean, aren't. Yeah, okay.
I think it's all in the thumbs.
That's hurtful.
It is.
You're going to insult a guy in a wheelchair. That's low.
You're in a wheelchair?
My choice.
How did you get over there like that?
we had to build a small Tower of Babel so that Kevin could get up to the
It's
microphone.
amazing, actually. It's a bunch of mats and some bumper plates. We Jimmy rigged it the best we can, and he's got the brakes on, I hope.
Yeah, my brakes are on. If I fall, it'll just be really good content.
Well, yeah, exactly. Especially if we can do it live, that'd be great. But
since you lost the script, I'm not sure what to do.
My favorite part was that, we did offer to do this a different way. We could sit differently or whatever. And he's like, no, being up at the table is the cool part. So
yeah, he gets mad. He gets angry. That's what his buddy Phil told me yesterday. He's like, don't ask him if he needs help with anything. He fucking gets mad.
I wouldn't say mad.
You get mad at Phil.
I get mad at Phil. That's
but
different.
You're always pissed at Phil.
Yeah.
I think
mainly just because he's a prick.
Mainly because he calls me fat every 3 seconds.
Oh. That's what good friends do, man.
Yeah.
They got to keep you leveled out.
He pokes the stomach.
We're going to start a new tradition here on the PowerCast. We have this slingshot that's autographed by Seth Rollins, my buddy Cesaro, and Braun Strowman, all WWE athletes. But we're going to have Mr. Kevin Ogar sign this as well.
All right. we're at.
Wherever you want, buddy.
Pick a spot.
Your world. You're in charge. Just like you were in charge of that workout yesterday, and you fucking killed us. That sucked.
Just because I can't count rounds. Like, I don't know. I didn't know what round we were
Yeah,
on.
he's like, he goes, let's do a fourth one. I was like, that was 4.
Oh, 5 then.
And then we proceeded to do, I think, 2 more or something like that. It was terrible, whatever the case was.
Counting's overrated.
I think that's true, yeah. I don't think I've ever done a set of anything unless I counted it out loud that I actually remember, actually got it right.
Kevin, what are your thoughts on this John Cena doll that we have at the table now, who's holding a massive amount of weight in a kind of strict curl position with one arm?
I'm actually really impressed. I mean, that bar's bending. That's like 900 plus pounds that he's doing a strict curl with.
You actually missed the answer.
What's the answer?
The correct answer is, how is that weight floating in the air like that? So John Cena has joined the ranks of Jesus Christ, Superman, and Bo Jackson to be on the podcast table. Kind of about time, I think.
It is about time. Well, since we can't get him on the show due to legal restrictions,
yeah,
we can put him up here and do
he
pretty much whatever
would,
we want to with it.
He knows he'd talk about dirty shit that would condemn him forever, probably. Pretty much. We're here today with Mr. Kevin Ogar, former CrossFitter, I guess now more of a powerlifter.
I would say a little bit of both, but yeah.
You're doing a little bit of CrossFit stuff still?
Yeah, I use CrossFit for a lot of my like hypertrophy work or like just accessory stuff.
Keep the heart rate going.
Yeah, nice little bump in heart rate,
And,
so I don't get so bored with stuff.
Kevin, he mentioned earlier he was going to wear a different T-shirt today, but he spilled ice cream on it.
Yeah.
And so he went tank top, which Phil is breaking the rules, but he probably is like unaware. But we have the 405 bench rule for the tank top, and you've earned the right to wear a tank top.
Yeah, Phil.
Phil, we're going to have to sew some sleeves onto that shirt you're wearing there. Smokey, get to work on that, please. I'm on it. Anyway, we're here today with Kevin Ogar and somebody that many, many people have been motivated by, inspired by. Many people have had just a real attachment to you, since the injury. Kevin was paralyzed 3 years ago in a weightlifting accident, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
Just a crazy set of circumstances. But let's first talk about your life kind of before that. Where did this journey of fitness and strength and stuff like that start?
I was really young. Actually, I think I was around 12 years old the first time I started working with a barbell.
Pubes or no pubes?
Pubes at that point in time. Early bloomer. I think I was already like 6 foot tall.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Already kicking everybody's ass.
And red, I'm thinking.
Oh, bright red.
Yeah,
bright red.
Fire
yeah,
coach. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Beard?
Actually, trying to grow one. Real scruffy. No, my parents got me a weight set for Christmas, and I went down to the basement with just squat and bench press, and
You're already like into it.
yeah, like I
They bought it
12,
'cause
13
you
years old.
probably
I asked for it. That's why I wanted. Started lifting then. Got into powerlifting when I was young.
Were you already playing other sports?
Yeah, sports from the time I was 5 on. Everything from soccer, baseball, basketball, swimming, you name it. I probably played it for a little while. Ran track. Got into college, switched over to rugby, a little bit more powerlifting.
Nice.
Ended up gaining like 60 pounds my freshman year.
Oh, my God.
Holy
That's
crap.
a lot of beer.
From what to what?
I think I was like 180, 185 pounds when I graduated high school, and I was 245 by the end of my freshman year. Wow. So
You didn't weigh that doing CrossFit, though, right?
no, this is strictly drinking, rugby, and powerlifting.
Okay, because that would put you up in like John
knew-
Wilborn territory.
I
Yeah.
knew beer was like responsible for some of that. You can't make gains
No,
like that
beer
without
was
some
responsible for a lot of it, quite a bit of it. So then ended up getting introduced to CrossFit through one of my bosses at the time. His little 120-pound girlfriend whooped my ass in a workout, and decided that since I couldn't run up the stairs without breathing heavily, I should probably give it
like,
a shot.
What is this about?
Yeah, so I gave that a shot, started competing in it, and that was kind of the whole story.
What's your favorite sport to participate in, or what was, or whatever?
I love the barbell sports.
Yeah.
All of them. Weightlifting, powerlifting, CrossFit. I think there's something special about all the barbell sports that a little more so than pretty much any other sport. But if I had to pick like a true sport,
Right.
I'd have to say rugby.
Awesome. So this injury that happened 3 years ago has changed a lot of the things that you can do, but you're still in there lifting like a motherfucker. Give us a rundown of kind of what happened. I know it was the OC Throwdown. I think you were doing a snatch, and you were kicking some ass. It wasn't a weight that was unfamiliar to you.
No, at the time I was snatching right around 300 pounds for my 1 rep, and this was a 3 rep max hang snatch, so just a snatch from above the knee for a triple, and I'd actually just hit 245 pounds in warm up because I was playing. That's where I was kind of planning on starting, maybe a little heavier. And when I was going out, my coach let me know that no one had snatched above like 225 or 230, and so I bumped what I was going to start at down because I didn't want to waste the energy if I didn't have to.
Right.
And so it was 235 on the bar. I went out there. I went to go hit the first snatch. Felt a little off. Felt off balance, and so I was just going to bail backwards. So I didn't, oddly enough, injure myself. Went to go jump forward. Couldn't get out of the way of the barbell because there was a slight slant to that to the platform. So my right foot got out of the way. My left foot kind of is stuck where it's at, and so the barbell comes down and actually hits my left shoulder. We have the HD video now, so we can actually see exactly what happened. And the barbell hits my left shoulder, ricochets off me, hits the bumper plates behind me, and comes straight back and hits me in the back.
So you got hit twice.
Yep.
And it just happens in a half second. It just happened out of nowhere. And then what exactly is the injury that happened? What actually occurred to you?
I have a complete severing of my spine between T11 and T12. So if you look at the X-ray, my spine's actually on like 2 different sides of my body.
That's fucking wild.
So it hits me so perfectly that I actually don't have any fractures in my vertebrae. My vertebrae,
Just 2 separate bones.
yeah, just came in at the right angle and at the right, just the right way to hit me directly in the disc and just tear it straight in half.
Yeah.
I think we actually had a conversation with John Wellborn about this shortly after it happened. He's like, you guys don't understand what happened. This was like such a freak thing that it could have happened this way that you would not have.
Oh, yeah. Doctor said if it was a like 1/4 to a 1/2 inch in any other direction, like up, down, side to side, I'd either be instantly dead or I would have stood up from it and been perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy. So do you think, during the course of the competition that, anything was too tight, too close quarters, like the weights shouldn't have been there kind of thing? Or, I mean, you can't really just, you can't live in the past.
Yeah.
I'm sure you are the king of not living in the past because you kind of have to be, right? But, like, do you feel that, like, fucking shit shouldn't have been there? They should give us an extra 2 feet or something.
well, I mean, it's pretty standard practice not to have bumper plates within 5 or 6 feet of a lifting platform and weightlifting. Like that's actually in the rule books.
Kind of for that reason. You get it.
For this exact reason, yeah. And so having those weights where they're at was pretty negligent. We'll say no one did it on purpose. No one was like, "Wahaha, watch this."
Yeah.
But pretty negligent to have weights stacked that closely or in that position.
Is there any precautions now? Like, are people more aware of is there a Kevin Ogar rule?
I sure hope so. I mean, you're still going to see some people do some dumb things and just not think about safety, but for the most part, you're going to see a lot of the major competitions, like down in Wadapalooza, they take great care. I mean, I'm down there most years anyway, but they take great care to make sure their athletes are safe. And, you even see it more and more at like the CrossFit games or regional and stuff like that. They're very concerned with the safety of their athletes and how everything goes.
Working out with you yesterday, you just come flying out of the gate. We went through like 3 different circuits of a bunch of different things, and most of it in the beginning especially was like a bro sesh, a lot of arm training, and it's kind of like a mentality of just like, how much pain can you handle, because we're just doing high reps, and he and I had fun with each other, messing with each other with the drop sets and some different things we were doing. But when it came to the kind of the CrossFit style, like the WOD, I guess you'd call it, you just come flying out of the gate. Is that the way you don't think about?
I'm not
swim
great
out to deep water and don't think about how you're getting back?
Yeah, pretty much. That was my MO. Sprint out in front of everyone. Hope to God no one was fast enough to catch me when I died. It worked out 50% of the time.
Yeah.
So that's. I mean, I don't know. I've always just been a sprinter. I'm not very good at the long distance stuff.
So the longer duration CrossFit stuff was a little harder for you.
That was rough on me because I would have to like sprint rest, and hope to God that no one was good at pacing. which
I
was
noticed
never
that
the case.
Charlie was kind of doing a similar thing where he was just going hard, and then he couldn't. It was hard for him to manage it, because then you got to do the next thing.
Right.
And I'm 10 seconds in, and I'm going pretty hard, probably going about 80%, and I'm thinking I could kick it up a notch, but then I won't have anything left. It doesn't make any sense, So I guess some people are going to try to judge it and pace it, and other people are just going to fucking go.
Yeah, I mean,
all out.
I don't know. That's just, I mean, all the sports I've ever played have been like sprint rest type of stuff, and so
Right.
I guess that's just kind of my mentality.
So coming off the injury, what was the hardest thing? I imagine there's hundreds of things to deal with, but what was the hardest thing to deal with?
I think the hardest thing for me to deal with was kind of being a newborn and really having to rely on other people or ask for help. Going from someone who was a lifetime athlete and pretty good at picking up on like anything physically active or anything, like if you showed me how to do it once, I could probably pick it up decently well.
Becomes part of your character and something you kind of take pride in.
Yeah.
Someone throws someone runs around, they throw a football and they throw it 40 yards, and then you're like, oh, fuck, okay, I can do that, and you throw it 50 yards.
Yeah.
You kind of take pride in that ability, right?
Yeah, and so that for me, coming off this injury, learning to have to like ask for help, or I had to relearn how to put my shoes on and relearn how to go to the bathroom or get dressed or anything like that. At 28 years old was pretty rough. I couldn't even sit up after I first got hurt. Like I was like a little weeble wobble. I just kept falling over, and so going from someone who physically could manage most things to not being able to sit up was a hard blow.
You just didn't have the thoracic stability to keep yourself up.
Well, I have no
sensation.
I have no hip flexors.
Yeah.
I have no glutes. I have nothing. From about an inch below my belly button.
And so the muscles, they don't operate.
Yeah,
anymore.
they just don't operate, and so it's kind of like sitting on a Bosu ball or like a yoga ball with your legs up. It's just there's no stability. You got to learn how to counterbalance everything, and first couple times you sit up, it's damn near impossible.
I have a sort of adult adopted son who is my younger son's best friend, who was wounded in Afghanistan. He lost a big piece of bone in his lower right leg, and his shoulder was really screwed up. So we were at Walter Reed with him for a while, and like it was so long before we ever got clothes on him again, because he was so, there was so much in the way. There were so many like wound vacs and stabilizing things, and he had so much frustration with not being able to do things himself, especially that he just came from the battlefield and then into this scenario, and there were some hard days.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be, and there kind of has to be. I go back to I did my rehab at Craig Hospital, and I try to go back to Craig as often as I can, and they'll bring new patients over to my gym because I'm right down the street, about once a month, and I talk to them all the time, and I always tell them that the best piece of advice I always had was don't fight the bad days. Like just let them be bad days. Like have your little tantrums, have your moments of anger and frustration, but just don't let it affect the following day.
Yeah, if you want to feel sorry for yourself or you're sad or mad, just fucking do it.
Yeah, it's like a bouncing ball. As long as you bounce back up, you're fine. It's when the ball doesn't bounce anymore that you're kind of in trouble.
That's really cool.
Did you have to set a limit for yourself? It's like, okay, today I'm going to feel like shit, but tomorrow I'm going to have a different attitude? Or did you like wait for the mood to change and then make as much of the positive as you could?
I don't think I ever really thought about it. I don't think it ever affected me from more than one day, maybe a few hours. I mean, that's my personality though. Like I'm very much so blow up and then get back to normal. Like I don't really retain onto anything. There's been multiple times where Phil or Megan's had to go get my wheelchair because I've launched it halfway across the room because I was angry. And it's a 16-pound wheelchair, so it's not very hard to throw.
Right. I'm familiar with that kind of, yeah.
And so you feel kind of like you get angry, you yell, you scream, you cuss, you throw something, and then you realize you're being an idiot and you just get back to real life.
So when you got injured, did you get knocked out?
No, I was conscious.
Were you in pain?
Extreme amounts of pain. It was like every nerve and every inch of my body was set on fire all at once. like extreme pain for took them like 15, 20 minutes to get to me, and then another 15, 20 minutes to get to the hospital, and then
in pain but motionless.
my lower body was motionless. They had to one of the biggest risk factors with a T11, T12 is that you're still so upper body mobile that you'll start thrashing from the pain and end up killing yourself. And so they had to really try hard to keep me from moving. And
was there good people there? To take care of you?
I was lucky enough to have a lot of my good friends out there with me. My buddy Ryan was actually watching, and so were a few other people. And then my friend,
other people. 500,000, I think, or something.
Well,
right?
Friends of mine.
Live stream, right?
So the people from Barbells for Boobs were there, and then my friend Shannon actually happens to be a fire medic, and so she helped the fence and probably kept me from dying.
Interesting
So
how things like that work out,
yeah,
isn't it? That's
it's
awesome.
My story is pretty much one of like, pretty much a story of like too many coincidences to be coincidence.
Right.
So, Shannon being there and being a fire medic, them taking me to the hospital where the second best surgeon for my kind of injury happened to just be there that day. What I was told is he wasn't supposed to be there. Just kind of happened to be there and took my case on. Any other person does my surgery, I'm dead.
Do you believe in fate?
Kind of have to, man. Kind of have to believe someone's watching over me. I had
believe in God?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had an 18% chance of surviving my first surgery. And
came to the other side.
Came to the other side, and if one thing had gone wrong with, either my transport or Shannon not being there, or the doctor who would just happen to be there being there, or any of those things, a fourth of an inch in the different direction, I'm instantly dead. Small percentage stuff. Something
takes a half an hour to get you to the hospital. How long? Do you have any idea? From the place to the hospital?
It felt like forever, but I would probably guess maybe like 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
You'd have to ask someone. I was pretty incoherent. I mean, I remember it, but I don't remember how long it actually took.
It's too much to concentrate on anything. Any idea how long it took? You need the cameras checked in?
If somebody could kill the monster fridge, that'd be awesome. I just noticed
there we
it.
go. Yeah.
That's much better.
So they do surgery on you right away?
No, they were actually they actually wanted to wait till the next day, and I had some pretty awesome people through Barbells for Boobs and everyone else that was there with me kind of come in there and tell them that they pretty much had to do the surgery then, because the longer you wait, the less chance of surviving and the less chance of getting anything back there is, and the worse things get. And so I had to fight with them. They wanted to do I can't remember if it was MRI or a CAT scan or whatever, but they wanted to put me in a tube, and I don't like small spaces. I don't really fit in them very well, and so I had to argue with them about putting me under. So that's kind of the last thing I remember. And then is them putting me under, going to an MRI, and then doctor coming in, telling me I was paralyzed, and telling me we needed surgery. I think it was 9 hours after I got to the hospital they did my first surgery.
You call some of that, like them telling you that you're paralyzed?
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I remember the doctor walking in. He didn't even say, I was actually the first one to say it. And he's like, hey, I got some bad news. And I was like, I know it. I'm paralyzed. Like, you don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
It was pretty obvious,
I mean, it must be terrifying.
Dude,
you can look at your feet, but you can't move them?
Oh, I sobbed like a little child, man. I lost it.
Did too.
Yeah. So my fiance was on a plane out and was like almost throwing up on the plane.
What about like parents and stuff? They show up at the hospital and
oh yeah, the whole family came out, brother, sister,
Everyone
parents,
just
cousins,
dying.
like everyone just came out. My parents and my sister were watching live on the live stream, and so my dad won't watch on any live stream stuff anymore.
He's not falling.
Yeah,
for
he's not doing that again.
Yeah, I can't blame him on that.
So they flew out. They stayed with me at the hotel. You'll hear me mention Barbells for Boobs a lot. They're my saviors. They shut down operations for almost a full week to start up the Ogar Strong stuff and get the fundraising to the CrossFit community going. And
right away.
Oh, right away. The second it happened,
everyone's like, "Hey, how do we make this shitty situation better?"
They put my family up at houses and places and took them around California and helped them out, and really took care of them.
The Barbell for Boobs people.
Yeah, they did all of it for them.
Shout out to them. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. People over at CrossFit Costa Mesa helped take care of them as well, and so I'm forever grateful to those people.
Yeah, that's amazing. Man, what a brutal thing to go through. Was there Was there any form of like denial, like from mom or something like that? Where I remember when my brother died, my mom just like, she kept saying she didn't believe it. She was like, it didn't like it's hard for me to talk about. She basically said, she's in the background screaming, in the background when my dad called, and basically says, it's not true, it's not true. She keeps yelling over and over again. Was there a moment like that for you?
For me, no. I pretty much just kind of resolved myself to, it is what it is. Yeah, I move on. I started making jokes right away.
Right.
That's just kind of my personality.
We were joking about getting the wheelchair up to the table level before you came in, Mark.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, this is going to be fine. We're cool. Okay.
The first joke I made was I think a couple hours before my first surgery, and I was laying there, and they told us that we're getting ready to go in the first surgery. It's supposed to kill me. The doctor came in and told everyone to say goodbye because I'm not coming back. Stuff like that. And I rolled over, and I think it was my fiance and then my friend Tyler, I think, was there, and I looked at him. I go, well, I guess if I start a CrossFit gym now, do you think they'd let me use the name Brokeback CrossFit? And I just like rolled back over, and no one found it funny. I didn't understand.
Too early on the joke.
Yeah, maybe.
It's all about timing, they say, with comedy, right?
Comedic timing. I guess I didn't have any at that point.
Dark humor is what saves us.
Yeah,
really.
For me, it was like we started making jokes right away, and that's kind of my personality.
Yeah.
Jokes about it all, and my mom can't take it. I try to really rein it back when she's in the room because I don't know if she ever had a moment where she didn't believe it happened because they saw it. So.
Right.
But I know she's had a hard time with it. Both my parents probably struggled more with my injury than I did. Mm-hmm. So it's been really tough on them.
You have other brothers and sisters?
I got an older brother and a younger sister. Nothing like me. I don't know how.
Neither one of them's jacked?
No, they're both really tiny people. None of them are gingers, like dark hair, dark eyes. Kind of got the shaft on them, skin tone stuff.
You can't have the tan.
Yeah, they're both wicked smart, like super smart people, but just not athletes. So, but they were around me. My sister was kind of my media manager. She's super smart. So whenever we were in the hospital and people wanted to talk to me or people tried to get in or whatever like that, she was always the one to go talk to them because I don't think my parents could.
You're in the CrossFit community and you've been an athlete your whole life and you're known and known for doing these certain things, and but then all of a sudden out of nowhere overnight you're known by hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
Was some of that overwhelming? You're getting like your phone getting blown up, your email, or social media?
It was. Again, I am I'm probably the most fortunate person to get put in this situation because I had so many people around me that kind of helped me go through all that, like people taking care of my phone or answering emails for me, or a lot of it, again, from Barbells for Boobs or from my friends through CrossFit. Like a lot of my athletes came out and kind of took care of me and handled all that stuff for me. Like I never really got overwhelmed by it because I don't think they really let me deal with it until I was ready.
Yeah. I was letting you deal with you, basically.
Yeah.
The way that the community reached out to you after the injury, I think was very it's very much an affirmation of what all the positive things that people had said about CrossFit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was really struck by that at the time because it was just enormous. It's so much reaction.
Oh, so many emails and messages. Like I couldn't even respond. I mean, I wanted to. I really tried hard, but I couldn't respond to all of them. Like I woke up with over 1,000 messages 4 days after my accident of just positive stuff and like reaching out to me and like helping out and asking how they can help. I mean, there was a few funny ones, but most of them were really good.
There's a lot of weird negative bullshit too, where people are like, "Oh, see, you do get hurt doing CrossFit."
Oh man, some of those videos, I think they're hilarious.
Fail videos.
Oh my, no, well, just like there's a video called "Fuck CrossFit and Fuck Kevin Ogar." That's a real YouTube video.
Oh my way.
And it is it's like this guy like chain smoking and like talking like, oh, it's hilarious. If you guys want a good laugh, go watch it. It's pretty good.
You have a better temperament for that than I do, because I banned the fuck out of somebody yesterday for talking shit to me. They do it every week, and I finally like, I'm done. You're out. I don't want to hear it anymore.
I just laugh at them, man. Like, what's going on in your life that you're so sad and you need to pick on other people?
Yeah,
like, to me, that's pretty funny. I got an email within like the first week of me being, well, actually my first week at Craig, and it was just, hey, Kevin, good luck with your dick. And that was it.
Jesus Christ.
That's so awful. Oh.
Yeah. It was.
Did you write back, say good luck with yours?
I was like,
Thanks.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, at least he wasn't wishing me bad luck.
Right. Exactly.
So there's different types of paralysis. What is yours called?
I'm classified as a complete T11. I think my Asia score is A. I always get that one wrong. It's the Asia score that means that there's no chance to change.
Gotcha.
So then there's incomplete. There's like higher or lower paralysis.
So some people have a chance to come back.
Yeah, I mean, if you have, I think it's an Asia score C and you're an incomplete, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get some stuff back.
What about technology?
There's some cool stuff out there. None of it's really like functional or useful
Can you
yet.
turn you into a robot?
Oh, dude, if someone offered me robot legs, I'd take that in a second.
That'd be sick.
Dude, you know how awesome that would be?
Be such an
I'd
awesome
squat so
power
much.
lifter.
Yeah. You think that would
You're
be
like doing box jumps where you're using the roof of the fucking building.
But do you think
Jump
they would
up.
let me compete in Raw, or would it all be equipped?
That's a really good question.
I don't think you'd be able to do Special Olympics, that's for sure.
Probably not.
Is there any technology to assist you with exercise and stuff? Like, do your legs still have to be moved and things like that? Or?
There is. You can get like E-stem machines. Like I'll hook up like a Mark Pro or a Normatec to my legs to kind of flush them out to make sure blood's flowing and I don't get blood clots or anything like that. But mostly it's just moving around. Like I'll stretch them out. Actually, is mobile. You guys can tell because I'm super, super flexible. I try to do yoga fairly often, or at least like stretch out a little bit. But I'll do that for my legs. But that's pretty much it.
Have you always been mobile?
My shoulders have never been mobile. Like they're about as stiff as a brick wall.
But your legs, because there's no sensation, you can kind of do.
Yeah, I
whatever.
can fold myself in half.
That's fucking crazy.
So yeah, I mean, my hips have always been pretty mobile. That's
Yeah.
why, I mean, I was a squatter. That's what I like to do. So my hips have always been pretty mobile, but now even more so. It's pretty weird.
So how long were you in the hospital for?
I was at a hospital out in California for 11 days. I was flown back to Craig, and I was at Craig for 6 weeks, and then out on my own.
What was going on in those 6 weeks?
At Craig Hospital, they it's in my experience the best spinal cord rehabilitation center in the nation. Like they're
Where
just
is that?
It's in Colorado.
Colorado.
It's in Inglewood, Colorado. A couple minutes from my gym, but they it's not just what they teach you. It's the mentality there, and the people that work there are super positive, and right. You kind of really need that around you when you're going through this stuff.
Right.
But they're going over like how to get dressed, what happens if you fall out of your chair, how to use the restroom. Like they're literally teaching you like you're a toddler at almost 30 years old. It's frustrating. They probably scared the hell out. I don't think they were used to me or used to someone like me at Craig Hospital.
They probably don't get that many people who had that much strength going into it.
They actually get a lot of high-level athletes. They've had a few Olympians.
Really?
They had Amy Van Dyken and a few other snowboard winter Olympians and a few other high-level athletes. But I don't think they were used to having someone who was like a barbell sport athlete that actually had that kind of strength. I don't think they don't get too many people who want to do all this stuff or get frustrated when they can't.
Right.
So your strength, and even though it was gone from the lower body, you still have it in the upper body. Did that help you recover faster? Did it
Immensely,
maybe
yeah.
Help you get to some different things a little quicker than most, maybe?
Yeah. So they normally start people off with like slide boards and these other kind of helps and restraints, and I just went straight to like what's called popover transfers. I didn't want the crutch. I was informed early on in my accident not to take it and kind of force myself to learn. And
Right.
I think it really helped with learning how to be functional on my own, like getting it into bed and out of bed, putting shoes on, like going to the bathroom, how to shower. There's a lot of strength stuff that goes along with it when you don't have the use of your legs.
All this has to do with bench pressing, basically, is what you're
All
saying.
of it.
That's
All
my
of it.
translation. You got that, Smokey? You write that down?
Yeah. If you want to
One
get
more reason to bench press.
Yeah, Smokey, it's good for you. Just stop squatting for 3 years.
1 year in.
Okay, so the transition out of the hospital, are you hitting the gym right after you get out of the hospital?
I actually started sneaking out at Craig. I would tell him I'm going to. I was telling him I was going to go to.
Great.
I would go to. Hey, I'm going to go to lunch with my family.
I want to get a burrito.
Yeah, and then I would just go to the gym and work out a little bit, and then come back. So the gym's my happy place, man. It's been kind of where I've been kind of meant to be since I was a young kid. So getting back to it pretty quickly.
What was it like when you went back to the gym and saw some of those people you haven't seen in a while?
It was good for me, man. It's like nothing changed. Same jokes, same inappropriate behavior.
Pretty emotional for them, or they just took it in stride and they're like, "Hey, man, great to have you back."
I don't know. It was good for me.
Yeah.
I don't know about them.
Right.
You'd have to ask them. If it was super emotional for them, they put up a good face for it for me. So
They just pretended like, "Hey, nothing happened."
yeah, back to inappropriate jokes, making fun of me.
Yeah.
Phil calling me fat.
I'm sure Phil probably briefed everybody. Hey, man, just say what's up to him and just leave it at that.
Oh, Craig.
So that
actually,
way it's not weird.
Craig actually sent some people over to the gym. They knew I was going to go back pretty soon, so they actually sent some of their people over to the gym to kind of tell them what to expect and how to kind of handle the situation. So
People sending you flowers and candy and all kinds of shit. At the hospital.
mostly coffee and donuts.
There you go.
Yeah, so a lot of coffee, a lot of donuts.
What was the body weight like at that time?
My lowest, I was 155 pounds, which I hadn't weighed since I was like
That's crazy.
5th or 6th grade.
So yeah, it's would you say it's like 12 weeks basically off your feet, right?
Yeah, well, 12 weeks off my
Not
feet.
12
I
weeks,
lost
but-
a lot of my blood in that first surgery. Appetite was gone. Like I couldn't even. I would have like 2 bites of a iceberg lettuce salad and be close to throwing up from being full.
90 pounds, basically. You said you weighed about 240, or I don't know what you weighed going in.
I was going in to the accident. I was right around 220.
Oh, okay. So like 60, 70 pounds, something like that.
So what did they do in that first surgery? Were they stabilizing or were they?
So my first surgery was called a thoracotomy. So they sliced open my side, my left side, and they pulled my ribs apart, dislocating a few of them. They had to deflate my lung, pull out a bunch of my organs. So
Sounds fucking horrendous.
Yeah, I actually had
None
a
of
friend.
this sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, well, the reason they do that is so they can come in and they can see where everything's at from a bigger cavity and look down on it to move things back in together because it's so close to the top of my back that if they were to open that up and do even one thing wrong, instant death.
Yeah.
And so they realigned that. They stuffed me back together like I was the scarecrow from Wizard of Oz. Sewed me back up, put a chest tube in so they could drain the. You're all right there? Was the scarecrow comment too much?
Jessica's about to hit the floor.
They sewed me back up, put a chest tube in to drain the fluid, and then they waited 24 hours to make sure I wasn't going to die, and then opened me back up, put 2 rods, 4 plates, and 8 screws, fusing me from T10 down to L1.
Okay.
You said you believe in fate and you believe in God. What do you think the second chance might be about?
My second chance is meant to be there to help people. Like, it's what I wanted to do beforehand, and now I just have a bigger platform and a bigger responsibility to do so.
Yeah.
Whether it be in the gym helping people with like fitness and strength, or talking to new patients and kind of letting them know everything's going to be okay, or really just trying to help as many people as we possibly can through what I'm good at. So, I mean,
Seems like that might be the only way to recover. I don't have any clue about any of it, but it makes sense to me that a really important thing to recover from what you went through is to communicate with other people that have been through it.
yeah, I mean,
Was that something that you had access to?
yeah, Craig has. Craig's awesome because they do such an amazing job that patients want to come back and help others. So I had people coming back and mentoring me. I was fortunate enough to have.
How could you make it out without that?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to have a few people throughout the CrossFit community contact me, like Chris Stoutenberg, Stephanie Hammerman, Angel Gonzalez, Gustavo Marquez. Like, they all immediately contacted me to make sure I was okay and kind of give me advice. They had all been through it before. They know. They knew how to avoid the pitfalls, and so, like I said, I'm probably the most fortunate person to ever be put in this situation because I had so many people there to help me. Like, I would text those guys like the stupid, like what I now know to be like really dumb, I should know these things kind of questions, and they would kind of walk me, well, not walk, they would roll me through it. none of them can walk.
We got it. We made it. We got
She's right there. She's getting ready to bust.
Well, and you probably advice a lot of times is something you're looking for confirmation for. So you're probably looking for communication more so than like really just the flat out advice. You probably can, like you said, you can probably kind of figure it out on your own. But why not use other people?
Well, and it means something hearing it from someone who's already done it. Yeah. Like the doctors and the nurses, and they've seen it probably more than anyone else. But when they would be like, "Hey, man, like this is gonna get better. You're gonna be able to." Like I couldn't put my shoes on at first. Like for the life of me, could not get my shoes on my own feet, which is wildly frustrating. They're like, "Hey, it's gonna be okay. Like you'll eventually get this. And you'll forget when you struggled with it." And I was like, fuck you, man. Like your legs work.
Right.
Putting on your shoes is easy.
Yeah.
And then you have someone like Chris
put on
or
my shoes is actually very hard.
You have someone like Chris or Gustavo or Angel be like, yeah, dude, you're fine. Like, just give it some time and you'll be all right. It means a lot more coming from someone who's gone through it.
Plus, I think that you just can't think as clearly when you're going through those circumstances, at least not all the time. So it does really help to get messages from people who've been through things and can just clarify things for you.
Oh, yeah. Dude, the first couple months of the injury, like, all you're worried about is, like, I mean, not to be gross, but shitting yourself and peeing all over yourself. Like that's your main, that was my main concern.
Right.
Like
you have no concern every day.
Well, that's why I was late today, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean, you have no control over like bladder or bowel when you first get out.
Right.
So like you're always concerned about that. So it's kind of, for me, it was kind of hard to focus on anything else.
But they go through some kind of a process that.
Yeah. They teach you how to deal with it and how to handle it. And there's different options and different ways of going through it. And I just wanted the way I handled it to be the least invasive. Mm-hmm. So there's people who get surgeries for this and surgeries for that, and I didn't want to be on medication. I didn't want to be on, certain things if I didn't have to. So I just forewent all of them and started figuring out myself.
Through some of the things you're saying. What you're telling us is you have unlimited poop stories.
Unlimited poop stories. Oh, so many of them.
So you are maybe unsure of when you need to use the bathroom?
I just can't clench my butt cheeks if I have to poop. Like I'm low enough.
I'll clench them for you.
Okay, there you go. I can kind of feel when I need to go and when things are uncomfortable. I'll start to get super anxious. I'll get twitchy.
So your digestive system still works the same.
Yeah, it still works. I mean, it's a little slower on the bottom half, but still works the same. So I'll get twitchy. I'll get super hot when I'm not supposed to be. Like if it's really cold in the room and I feel like I'm sweating, I know I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
But other than that, if it's time to go, it's time to go. I really don't get an option of like, okay, I'm going to hold this to this next set and then go ahead and take care of it.
So like parasympathetic nervous system, is that the digestive system runs on?
I'm going to assume so because everything below my entry line still technically works. I mean, you can hook electrodes up in my leg and get muscles to fire.
Yeah.
So everything still works. It's just not able to communicate with the upper half of my spinal cord or my brain. And so I'm guessing that it's just sending signals to the lower half of my spine that's not attached to the upper half and getting messages back.
Do you need to walk on occasion just to exercise? I know with a crutch or something. I've seen pictures or videos.
Yeah,
of you.
so I have leg braces and I have like a standing frame. So standing up is really good for us. It helps with blood flow, helps with like regulating poop stories.
Once a month?
As often as I can. Sometimes I'm better at it. Others, like I'll go like a month where I do it like once a week, and then I'll go a month or two without doing it at all. Just whenever I have time.
Your legs at all, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How the fuck do you walk?
So they're called KFOs, I think. What they're leg braces. They basically
swings your leg forward a little bit.
No, it's all that's all me. So the brace just keeps my legs straight and locked out when I'm standing. So I'm basically standing on my structure and using a walker to kind of keep my balance. And then I'll just shift to one side and use like oblique and the little hip flexors that I have to move my leg forward, plant it, and then switch to the other side.
Oh, so you're actually walking?
So I'm actually moving everything. Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's really slow, and so I don't really walk around too often. But it's nice to remind people that I'm 6'3" and bigger than they are. I kind of look like a slice of pizza though when I stand up. Just like the Kool-Aid Man, like giant red upper body and like just little sticks for legs.
Yeah.
My goal is to get
Every
you to bust
24
out laughing at some point and just ruin everything. I hope you know that. I'm just gonna get you to like just snort or something.
So basically, like every bro and every 24-hour fitness in the nation. Right?
Yeah, I look a lot like the 24-hour fitness guys. Yeah,
That's great.
That's the look you're going for.
I mean,
Works for them,
isn't that called
right?
a beach body? That what a beach body is?
So you mentioned that you started lifting while in a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
What did that look like? What did those workouts look like?
They were really simple, nothing too hard. I would go there, and I was fortunate enough that Rogue sent me a ski erg, so I could ski erg a little bit. They sent me one of their kid bars, so I could do pull ups and a little bit of dumbbell work. I wasn't cleared to like lay on my stomach or really lay on my back a ton, so I was pretty much limited to what I could do.
Because you
sit
had
it
a
up.
brace, you said, for a long time.
Yeah, they had to make sure my surgery took and I didn't mess anything up on it. So normally they have people in those braces for like 6 to 8 weeks, and I think I was in mine for like 3+ months.
Arms are killing me, by the way. You feeling any of that? Or you don't feel the effects?
Yeah,
of it?
no,
Okay.
I put some icy hot on my
Maybe
elbow
that
this morning. Yeah,
wheelchair training got you fucking prepped for that shit or some shit.
my arms do recover pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Hey, your arms are huge.
So
All that tricep. That take a long time to adjust to. Even just getting tired using the wheelchair, or is it not that?
I mean, pushing yourself around, it's just like anything else. You kind of goes slowly but surely. Like the first time I got in a wheelchair, I was only up for like 5-10 minutes before I had to lay back down because I was exhausted. Yeah. And you slowly just build it up and try to stay in your chair for longer and longer until you're comfortable in it. But even like with working out, like I had to start with something with like really small, simple, couple minutes at a time, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and then slowly start to build up
When you
that
went
volume.
to lift, because you're smaller and lighter and stuff, what kind of weights? Just moving around whatever you can.
Yes, move around whatever I can. I mean, I think the first time I got back to the gym, I think the heaviest thing I picked up was like a 15-pound dumbbell, and even that was
When you went to bench
rough.
press, were you 135 pounds you were benching, or?
The first time I maxed out my bench press post injury was actually like September, October that year. I think I hit 285.
You're a fucking stud. That's fucking unreal.
Well, I mean, I've been working out regularly. I just
Charlie
hadn't really.
Zamora, wherever you are, buddy. Charlie just benched 290, and he wasn't paralyzed for 8 months. Fuck, man, 285.
Yeah, I did it
fucking unreal.
at a competition actually
What did you
with.
You got some of your
like
weight
185, 190.
back? That's fucking crazy.
So I was actually at a competition
beast.
with Katie Hogan. She came down
Hogan.
to support me, and
Who
that's where I
doesn't
met her.
Katie Hogan.
She's
Who's the best?
really mean to me.
Oh well, of course she's mean to you.
Yeah.
Because you're a prick.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what Phil told me. Phil.
She threatens to dump me out of my chair all the time.
Yeah. Well, because she's very angry person.
No, and she's actually the one that suggested I start working with Jesse on my bench press and see if I couldn't do anything as far as like Paralympics goes.
Mm-hmm. You have plans to do something with that?
Yeah, on the USA team right now, trying to qualify for the 2020 Paralympics and powerlifting, which is just bench press for us.
They got a lot of rules. Like, that's pretty strict. You got to hold the weight out on top, for like, seems like forever. They strap you down. You have to have that specific bench and everything, right? They've got a lot of rules, right?
Oh yeah, it's way more strict than like what you'd see with like USAPL or even like USPA.
More strict than the strictest thing we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Like, come on, cut these guys some fucking breaks. They're missing limbs. They're
if you
missing
go
body parts and shit.
if you go down too fast, it's a no lift. It's all subject to what they
I had not heard that one. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
I
so
wonder if
'cause
it's a safety thing or something.
Well, if you go down too fast, it's like, well, you didn't have control of the bar, you went down too fast. If it moves at all on your chest, like even if there's like a slight oscillation of your
I wonder
hands,
who runs that
no
section?
no
of things,
lift.
If it's anybody who's ever lifted before, or if it's just
I have no clue who actually runs it. I just know I know what my best lifts are and what I can actually like I do a touch and go single for, and what I can do for like their rules with, and it's a substantial decrease.
Yeah, maybe it's a safety thing. Maybe they don't want someone flying off the bench or something.
They just want a perfect lift.
You said
Guess
first
so.
time you did incline bench, you learned quickly that you need to be strapped down, right?
Yeah, you learn quick, fast, and in a hurry. You need to strap your legs down on an incline bench because
makes sense.
You like unrack the bar and just start tilting to one side, and you try to re-rack it before you fall off the bench.
How does some of this relate more into everyday life? Somebody goes through a divorce. Somebody is dealing with addiction. Somebody's fighting against. We're all fighting against something, How does your situation how does that relate? Do you think, because we all kind of have battle wounds. We all have things that happen to us.
Yeah, I don't know. Be perfectly honest, like my situation is completely different. Like everyone has their own struggle, and it's important to them, and it's harder to them than it would be to someone than what other people can imagine. And so,
what helped you get through it the most, you think?
My friends and family, like lifting, like being able to go back in the gym and just keep that one thing that was in my life, keep it there, like keep that normality. Everything changed so much, and everything was so different when I got out of the hospital, that being able to keep that one stable thing of lifting weights and getting back to doing like CrossFit and lifting and stuff like that was huge for me. I always tell the new patients at Craig that there's 3 things that I forced myself to do when I got out of the hospital, and it sounds kind of weird, but like it's shower every day. There's a huge link with like mental health and hygiene.
Yeah.
Leave the house every day.
I don't think you showered today. I can smell it.
I mean, like washcloth and water works, right?
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Shower every day.
Add some soap to the recipe.
Leave the house, even if it's just go get a cup of coffee. Get out of the house every day, and then get back to something physical, like regardless if it's lifting or CrossFit or literally anything physically active.
Spin.
Yeah. Go do anything that's going to get you like your heart rate up, and I tended to see like the people who take that advice tend to be a little more successful in their recovery.
See, that right there is relatable to everybody.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was talking about. So like that's, obviously like taking a shower is going to be easier for some versus others, things like that. But just taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself. Fucking get outside and do something physical. Like it's just simple, right?
I don't know what it is about a shower, man, but for some reason, like even if I was beginning to have a bad day, if I were able to hop into a shower, like just kind of hang out there for a little while and hop back out, everything was a little bit better. I was a little more likely to go do stuff. It was just better.
Give you a chance to be separated from the world for a little bit. You're by yourself pretty much. You don't have a cell phone attached to your hip, and you get to just be by yourself for 10, 15 minutes. Yeah,
it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just that the water hitting you super relaxing. There's a book out there called The Healing of Water or something like that I was given, and it just talks about like being able to get into water, go swimming, or even like laying in a bath, like in the its ability to calm you down or make you feel better.
All the time. I wonder if that has anything to do with anything. I mean, I have the nickname Smelly, so I'm trying to fight that.
So working against that, I think that doing those things, committing to doing those things, is something that anybody who's maybe prone to depression can deal with, because I think that part of the process is that people discount the value of doing those things. It's like, I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to get anything out of it. They discount that they're going to feel better if they do them.
Yeah,
and they get more and more removed from normal
Charlie,
life.
Come over here. We got something to tell you, buddy. We got some bad news for you. All right, man. What did you bench recently?
Oh, come on.
Tell everybody what you benched.
290.
Kevin, after being paralyzed for like several months, he came out of the hospital and fucking benched 285. Charlie, you're off the team. Again. Get out of here.
Sorry, Charlie.
Guy's a beast, Charlie. There's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean?
Not even fair.
Not even fair.
It makes you feel any better. My arms are short, and I can't reach tall shelves.
Still bench more.
Son of a bitch. You got him.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. What's your best bench now?
Competition bench, I just hit, or competition style bench, I hit 405 last Saturday. I haven't really tested a touch and go in a long time. So
405 bench, damn. Awesome. So what's the transition now? Like, what are you working on now? What are some things you're doing today? Not today, but nowish.
Well, I have a qualifying meet in June where I'm supposed to try to hit. Trying to do the math quickly in my head. It's 192.5, so 423. To qualify to go down to Mexico for Pan Ams to try to qualify, take my first chance to qualify for the Paralympics.
Oh,
You mentioned you started a foundation. You mentioned that to me yesterday. We were eating.
Yeah, I've been actually started working on that before I got hurt. So me and my friend Ryan and Colin founded the Rehabilitation project. We started working on it in 2011, 2012. Ryan's a Marine, 2 tours overseas. Humvee got blown up both times. Came back with some neck issues and some back issues and a lot of mood disorders.
Blown up twice. He's not dead.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He's
indestructible.
Yeah, he has all his limbs too. Like the dude's, and he looks like an Adonis. Like the dude's gorgeous. It's really unfair.
Son of a bitch. Right?
Yeah, I know. And so we started working at 2012, and it's called the Rehabilitation Project, and we supply a year scholarship to veterans who have mood disorders, so anything from like insomnia, PTSD, depression, literally anything like that, or a physical disability. That year scholarship covers their membership to a CrossFit gym near them that we've approved of, nutritional counseling for a year, 4 physical therapy sessions, and then we try to get them back to helping other people because, like you said, like helping other people like helps you, I think, more than it even helps the other people.
Right. When you communicate with other folks that have been paralyzed, have you dealt with a lot of different people? Have you dealt with, it sucks to have anything like this happen to you at any time in your life, but I'd imagine if you're younger, it would just be like if you're 14 or some shit like that, like you just didn't really get a chance. You got like a lot robbed from you. You deal with any of that?
Yeah, I mean, I worked with a few people who are like 16, 17 years old, and it's just, it's really rough. Like they have to go back to high school and deal with people and deal with shit bags, and they'll message me a lot about stuff, and I try to be as honest and candid as I can with still, I don't know, I guess I'm not, I guess tact isn't one of my things.
That's probably good for them.
Yeah.
That's probably really good, yeah.
And just let them know, like, yeah, you can let it bother you, or you can't. You can either let it bother you, or you can't, or you just move past it, or don't. And if they really want to be jerks about it, fuck them.
Yeah, you don't have control over everything.
Yeah,
you got control over yourself. You got control over, like you said, taking a shower, getting outside, grabbing a cup of coffee, enjoying a workout, hanging around friends.
Yeah,
you can control all those things.
Absolutely, you just can't control what other people do, and so you just can't let it get to you. I mean, if I showed you I keep them in a file because I think they're hilarious. But some of the emails I got from people,
are some of the negative things a little bit of fuel?
I would think so.
When you get into a workout, like, fuck, I can do a lot of this shit, and I can bang out 20 pull-ups, and
I think it's definitely me. Like, if you tell me I'm not going to do something, I'm probably going to try a little harder to
just like, oh yeah, motherfuckers.
Spite's a great motivator. It's a great motivator.
Well, I think we were talking about it a little bit earlier. Like, what are their lives like that they need to reach out and be nasty to somebody? And no matter what's going on, you think, well, my life's better than that. I'm not an asshole. Like,
yeah.
Well, not that kind of asshole, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably still described as an asshole to most, but that's fine. I don't email people who are newly paralyzed.
Right, and say, yeah.
Good luck with your dick.
Good luck with your dick.
You should text that to Jesse Burdick when we get done with this podcast.
I think we all should do it. Like,
he controls my programming. I'm not going to piss him off.
Could be the name of this podcast.
I thought about it. Good luck with your dick. Well, that would set a tone, wouldn't it? Everybody would know what that was about.
Talk about clickbait. Like, what is this about? What bothers you most today about what happened? Again, I know that you have probably, detached yourself from living too much in the past, even though you got to talk about this shit a lot. What kind of bugs you the most today? Like, is there something that you're just like, fuck, man, this annoys the shit out of me? It just hits you every once in a while.
I don't think there's anything specifically about my accident or anything that went along outside of like the insurance company around the event being shitty. But I don't know. I think the thing that bugs me the most is just, daily trying not to be a burden around those around me. Like, it's really hard for someone like myself who likes to do things for himself to not, see people doing things for him and consider yourself a burden, whether it be at the gym or at home with my fiance or anything like that. So it's most days I'm pretty good about it, but there's still, I still have bad days to this day where I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just going to sit around for a little while. And that's when I generally really force myself to go in and do something.
There's must be a little bit of it must take time for you to be patient. Like, being patient coming off of this must have been a huge thing.
Yeah, I'm not very good at patience. So that was yeah. Everything just takes longer. Like, everyone else can wake up an hour before they need to be somewhere, and dilly-dick around and still get there on time. And I'm up 2.5 hours before I need to leave just so I can get everything I need to get done and be prepared for the day. And so like going to the store takes longer, pumping gas takes longer. It's not really hard. It just takes longer.
It's just time consuming.
Yeah. Being prepared is you'll sometimes hear somebody, use an excuse of like traffic, or they'll use an excuse of this or that. It's like, well, traffic occasionally is an excuse. It depends on where you live and stuff like that. But like, it always frustrate me a lot with my brother. He would use traffic as an excuse, and it's like, you live in L.A., like we're in Los Angeles. There's always traffic. There's always kind of like a certain amount of traffic. Every once in a while, you legitimately are like in a parking lot and you're not moving for like 4 hours or something. That's an exception. But when somebody says, "Oh, I had to stop and get gas," or "I had to do," it's like, those aren't actual excuses. That's just you not being prepared.
Yeah, I mean, I keep extra everything on me at all times, especially at the gym. Yep, underwear, extra clothes, extra literally everything.
Yeah.
Around me at all times. And it's not just like I do it at the gym, not just for me. I'll have wheelies come in, and if they need, they run out of catheters so they can pee. Like I try to keep extras there so they don't have to worry about it, or extra clothes or extra this, and just pretty much have to prepare for the worst each day and then hope it doesn't happen. Keep that bad packed for a few days.
Yeah. What has your fiance been like throughout the whole thing? You said, were you guys engaged before?
Oh, we got engaged after. So we've been together. It'll be 10 years in January, and we got engaged 2 years ago in December.
Cool.
Well, it'll be 2 years. I don't know. It's been like 2 years.
You got to carry the one.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there. She's been awesome about it. I think it's probably really rough on her going through the whole thing. But, I mean, I would probably guess we're probably closer now than we were before my accident. I mean, I'd probably like that with a lot of my friends and family as well.
There's
really
probably a lot of transparency that happens. They see you at your worst, and you got to communicate with them about everything, and just
perspective change. Like different things become important. Before my accident, my one and only goal was making it to the CrossFit Games, and then afterwards, it's like that's cool, but that shouldn't be your top goal in life. So she's been great. She's her and my parents didn't see eye to eye when I first got out of the hospital, because she knows me.
It's a very sensitive thing.
Yeah, she knows me really well, and she knew I didn't want people doing things for me, or like coddling me, or like allowing me to be lazy. And so she was very, you might describe it as harsh, like to make me do my own stuff, get up and do things. Like she wasn't gonna let me.
Basically, look, he needs some tasks to do every day, so he feels good about himself.
Yeah,
I
like
don't want to feel like shit.
Yeah, and so like even if it's something as simple as like getting up off the couch to go get water, if she's sitting right next to me, like she still makes me go do that. So I understand, like I can still go. Like I don't need to rely on someone for little things. And I think it was really hard for my parents at first to watch me struggle with that, because it's a struggle at first to even get up off the couch. And so she would make me do that by myself and like watch. I'm sure it was hard for her to watch, but my parents just couldn't take it. And so they got into it a little bit at first, because they wanted to do everything for me. If they heard me moan or groan, they were asking me 12 different questions about what's going on with me. And
passing by you in the hallway yesterday, when you were going to use the restroom, you had some clothes with you, and you kind of switched your clothes from one hand to the other, and you reached for the door. And I kind of turned around and I was like, just if I see anybody struggling, like, someone's got groceries and they're trying to get and open a door, or somebody's walking out of a Starbucks, I'll fucking grab the door for him. So I was like, I should probably just ask if you want help. And then I stopped and kind of looked at you, and I was like, he doesn't want any help. And then Phil came around the corner and he kind of teased. He's like, you need help? You're like, no.
Yeah. My friends are really good about that. Actually, I didn't show you this text yesterday after we got done with the battle rope stuff. This is a conversation with my friends. I looked at my phone, and our friend Jesse from back at the gym sent me a message, and all it said, it was, your battle ropes are fucking pathetic.
You're like, fuck.
I was like, thanks, bud.
It's crazy you're watching you do those. You're leaning forward, you're able to get some good leverage and do them, but then when you were leaning back, it looks like it's fucking impossible.
It's just a balance thing. Like the entire time I'm just fighting falling forward, because I don't have anything to drive off against. So it's just, I always describe it as like sitting on a Bosu ball and with your feet up and still trying to do a lot of these exercises. Just not a lot of balance there.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing you're able to get back in there and fucking hammer out all this stuff.
You figure out a way. Like that's kind of the journey that we've been on lately. Even with like new athletes, just figuring stuff out, whether they're more paralyzed than me, less paralyzed. Excuse me. But just kind of like, hey, let's give this a shot. Did it work? No, let's not do that again.
So is your overall advice to tell people not to allow dependencies to be created that you don't
Absolutely
need?
Absolutely. When I have wheelies come into my gym for the first time, I take a couple things away from them and make their parents sit out front. Like there's those slide boards that they can use to like just scoot across instead of learning how to transfer themselves. They have like anti-tippers on the back of the wheelchair so they don't flip backwards. But those things are a huge crutch, and they actually limit your quality of life because you can't, like, if I had those on, I wouldn't be able to get up here on this platform.
Training wheels on a
bike.
Yeah,
and so I take away their slide board, I take away their anti-tip things, and then I make their parents sit out front so they have to do it all themselves.
It'd be like taking away Smokey's slingshot. He wouldn't know what to do with himself. He'd be very, very, very upset.
Yeah, I mean those are just dependencies that they're just going to hold you back, and so unless like that's something that you 100% absolutely need, get rid of it.
Try to teach some of these guys to maybe like eliminate the word can't a little bit, and just
yeah. I mean,
like maybe they're unable to do it for right now, and if you work at it, you can do it.
And it's one of those things like if it's something that physically is like with someone who's like a T2. We have one guy at the gym who's a T2 and has horrible spasms. Like things like floor transfers are super hard for him. You can't technically do them yet, but it's not. We haven't stopped working on them. But we still dump him out of his chair and tell him to get back in. Like we just need him to figure that out. We need to figure out what he's going to do if he falls. I mean, it happens. You fall out of your chair all the time. I do it. You got to figure that shit out. Like you're going to fall out of your chair, and what are you going to do? Lay on the ground for 3 hours and wait for someone else to come along and pick you back up? That's unacceptable to me. Like we'll figure out a way to get you back in your chair one way or another.
So not assuming the limitations before they're proved.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like doctors and nurses are really good at getting people back to like healthy enough. But then I think they get kind of scared, and so they don't want people to push it or really try new things or try things that could be risky, and so it really limits a lot of people. Like I've had people come in my gym and say, "Well, I can't do that," and I'm like, "Well, we just need to figure out a way to set it up so you can do that." Like our guy who's a T2, like he's paralyzed from literally here down. He deadlifts.
Really?
Yeah, he probably deadlifts better than I do. I don't know how. I don't know how it works or how he creates the momentum for it, but some
He's able to move his legs, or what? Or how does he?
Well, I mean, we do it seated, so I just figured out a way to do it with a barbell, but we generally do it with like dumbbells.
Seated deadlift?
Yeah. Like we'll sit up in our chair, we'll go down and tap dumbbells, kettlebells, whatever to the ground, and then sit back up. I just got shown a way and kind of figured out how to deadlift with a barbell, with a bench and whatnot. And so we'll do that kind of stuff. But I mean, there's no reason why he should be able to do deadlifts as well as he does, but he does, and so that's just kind of one of those things.
What kind of weight is he able to use?
I mean, I've seen him use 70 pounds in each hand and do deadlifts.
That's nuts.
That's great.
So, and he's not a big guy.
Yeah. Well, that's really kind of fascinating, though.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think actually inspiring in a way. It's like, how do you know what you can do unless you push the limits, right?
All you can do is try, man. That's the conversation we have when people are talking to me about working with adaptive athletes. They're like, well, what do I do for them? I'm like, I don't know. Ask them. Ask them what they want to do. Ask them what they feel like they can't do, and then figure out a way to get them to do it. It's that simple. It's not rocket surgery.
And if you're expecting the guy to get up off the floor, I mean, it's not going to hurt him to be down there and figure it and try to figure it out.
No.
You're not putting him in danger or anything.
No, and we're pretty safe about that kind of stuff. We use a lot of gymnastic mats if we're going to throw people out of their chairs and whatnot. But it's not going to hurt them. Like worst comes to worst, we have someone pick him up and put him back in his chair, or we leave him there overnight. Like either way.
That's good.
You have any sort of people that are missing limbs sometimes talk about like phantom pains and things like that? You have anything like where you think you feel something in your foot but you don't? Was there anything like that in the beginning?
At the beginning I did. At the beginning it definitely felt like I could feel where my feet were or feel where my legs were, and I was always wrong. I have a weird thing. If I scratch a certain part of my stomach, I get tingles down my leg, and I've been pretty accurate with where my leg is if I can feel where those tingles are. So I don't know what that is, but I don't really have any like phantom pains, so to speak, where my leg hurts and I can't get it to stop.
Is there still any hope of walking? Or I mean, you kind of mentioned that your situation there's not.
I mean, with the technology out there, yeah. I mean, sure, why not? I mean, it's one of those things like that would be awesome, but I'm not gonna make that the focus of my life. If I never walk again, that's cool with me. I got a lot of cool shit going on. I get great
Can't
parking.
be frustrated, but it's just where you're at.
Yeah,
Parking.
So, I mean, it's.
So okay, on that topic, you should have to park further away.
I'm okay with that. I'm all right with parking farther away. Yeah. So we have those stripes next to the handicap spots, so I can open my door and get my chair out.
Somebody with a wheelchair should have to park like 2 miles away.
That's cool with me.
Plenty of.
You do need that extra space.
I need the extra space. That's all I need. Like I would park, and I do sometimes if the grocery store is empty, actually, or like I'm going somewhere and the parking lot's empty.
Everyone's fucking with that goddamn handicap parking thing, though. You know what I mean?
It's you want to see me go off on some people. That's
I bet.
I've had a lady try to run me over with her car before. Legitimately.
That's awesome. Car versus a wheelchair.
Yeah, she like revved her engine and like pulled towards me, and I was like, "Lady, I'm already in a wheelchair. What the hell are you gonna do?"
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Did you say something to her?
Oh yeah, so that's why she tried to run me over. So she was parked. She was parked in a handicap.
Some people have handicap things just because they're fat.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a fan of
In
that.
this country, people get so fat that they end up in a wheelchair.
So in the state of Colorado, to get a placard like that, you just have to have your doctor sign something that says you get winded from walking over 60 feet. Or severely winded from walking over 60 feet, and they'll give you a handicap placard.
I need that.
Yeah, right?
That's insanity.
So this lady had taken her dead mother's handicap placard and scratched off the date and wrote it in with marker, and I happened to see it, and so I called a tow truck to get her towed, and because it was my personal spot.
And she tried to kill you.
And she comes out, and I was like, and I'm usually pretty, like, at first I'm always kind of nice about it. I'm like, hey, like, your placard's invalid. Could you just move your car? And then she decided to mouth off to me. And I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to sit in front of your car until the tow truck comes. And then you can either pay them to not tow your car or pay the ticket for parking in a handicap spot. And she kept mouthing off and, like, cussing at me and yelling at me. And she's like, you don't know what struggling is. And I was like, that's...
Yeah. Like, I got a decent idea.
I mean, I guess that's fair. And she's like, I'm dropping off this baby daddy, and I still have 2 more kids to drop off to a different baby daddy later, and like my life's hard. And I was like, that's cool. It's not gonna move. So she ended up trying to hit me with her car.
Oh my god. Well, it drives me nuts when you go to like Costco or something, and fat people and it's skinny people. It's everybody. Let's be serious. Or even at like going to a commercial gym or whatever, people are jockeying for the closest spot.
Yeah.
It's like if you're here to exercise, like why won't you just walk a little bit further?
If they put extra wide parking spaces or those stripes in the far back, I'd park there every single time.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I park back there a lot if the parking lot's empty, because I know I don't really need the close spots. I just need enough room to get out.
Right.
And so I'll leave it for other. I mean, there are some people who have like MS or like oxygen tanks that really do need those, and so I'd rather not take those from them.
You have an oxygen tank. You're plenty fucked up enough to need a parking space.
Yeah.
I can live with that one.
Yeah, I went to the grocery store. I went to go pull into a handicap spot, and I look up and I see an old guy and his wife, and she was on an oxygen tank, and so I hadn't got all the way in the spot yet, so I pulled out and I pulled forward and went down a few spots, and the old man comes like storming over to my car, and he's like, "How dare you? These spots are for people who need them." And I just took my chair out of the car and I go, "Sir, I know that." And he's like, "I didn't think you were handicapped." He's like, "Oh, I just saw a big muscular guy trying to take a handicap spot." And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Why did you pull out?" And pull out of the parking spot. And I was like, "Well, your wife was on oxygen. She probably needed that spot way more than I did." Like, he felt so bad. Offered to pay for my groceries. Like, it's pretty funny.
It's like, no, I'll just take your shame.
Yeah.
You're not able to drive, correct?
I do drive.
You do drive?
Yep.
How does that work?
Hand controls. So it's like they install hand controls in my car that's like driving, or for mine, they're just like driving a boat. Push forward to brake, pull back to accelerate, and then you use the other hand to steer.
It's fucking awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think I would go absolutely insane if I had to have people drive me around all the time. Like, I got my license immediately after I got out of the hospital because I just didn't want to be like, "Hey, you want to come pick me up? I want to go to the gym today."
Is that a separate thing?
Yeah.
Separate license?
You have to go get a special license. You have to take your driver's test all over. At least in the state of Colorado, you have to take your driver's test all over again.
I didn't know any of this when you start going over
the
test,
like,
right?
You have to do like the written, the eye exam. You have to go on like the drive along exam. You have to do it all.
Oh, it makes
It's a
sense.
special license.
Keep it safe.
Yeah.
And you already have to have the vehicle the adaptive vehicle.
Yeah, that's the hard part because it costs about anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000 to get hand controls installed into a car.
Yep.
Yeah, the lady who did my test, I hit the brakes a little hard at a stop sign. She's like, "I'm going to dock you for that," and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I fell forward because my legs don't work." And she's like, "Never mind." So.
Get a little pity here and
Yeah,
there.
you use it to your advantage. I've gotten out of a ticket like that before. Pulled me, I didn't have my front license plate on, and cop pulls me over, and he's like, "You know it's illegal to not have your license plate on the front end in Colorado." And I go, "Yeah, I understand that. You know, if you want me to, I'll hop out and try to put it on now. Just let me get my wheelchair." And he goes, "Oh no, it's I'm gonna bye."
I'm gonna go shoot myself. Thanks.
So you use what you can to your advantage.
Right.
Is there a wedding date?
There is not. We're waiting for the point where I can settle the court case. It's still pending with the OC Throwdown insurance policy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't want to complicate her life any more than I already have with the wheelchair by having her have to jump in all that kind of stuff. So for right now, it's my stuff and mine alone. But if we got married, then she would have to assume all of it as well. And so it's just not.
Gotcha.
I mean, she's
Makes
stuck
it
around for almost
complicated.
10 years, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
Not to worry about her running away.
Yeah, no. I mean, she could probably run away. I can't run away as long as there's stairs.
True enough.
So you have your own gym too, right?
I do. I own CrossFit Watchtower in Inglewood, Colorado. Opened that a year and a half ago now.
And where are you from originally?
I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, or surrounding area of St. Louis, Missouri.
How's the gym going? How are things working out?
Going pretty good. I mean, we're growing in a saturated CrossFit market, so I can't really complain too much about it. We have a great community of people who help out time and time again, and not only help out with the gym, but also have new wheelies and new adaptive athletes come in, and they're super helpful with that. And I don't know, just a whole bunch of people who like to be meatheads, squat
Cool.
stuff, throw things around.
You help coach people?
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. I've always said I was a better coach than I was an athlete, and so like coaching and whether it be CrossFit or powerlifting or weightlifting is kind of my jam.
Well, and this has kind of forced you to use that power.
Oh man,
right?
it's actually made me be a better coach. Previously, when I was able to like show people what I wanted them to do, or like
That has to be super descriptive. Huh?
yeah, you have to really figure out what you want to say and say it super concisely, or really. And it's really awkward for me to like go up and like reposition someone because I'll usually fall into them, which whole other can of worms with certain people. You just have to be really good at telling them what you want, and so it's really kind of increased my ability to coach people.
You came out here with Meg, is that correct? Mm-hmm. And Phil.
Mm-hmm.
What do those guys do for you?
Megan, I may own the gym, but I always tell people that she's the real boss. I don't do anything without clearing it with her first. I brought her out when I first opened the gym. She reached out to me, and I brought her out, and it's been one of the smartest things I could have done for the gym. Cool. She helps me coach. She helps me run the place. She cleans up after me because I'm not the cleanest of people. And then Phil carries me.
Carries you around?
Yeah.
You make him like physically carry you? Or
Yeah,
push
like
the
Yoda,
wheelchair?
and I whisper things in his ear.
What's the nastiest thing you ever whispered in his ear?
No, we can't say that out loud.
Can't say it on the podcast.
Yeah, not on the podcast.
We do carry an E, so
Yeah, it's still
explicit
it's not
lyrics,
far
so-
enough.
Yeah, not far.
Phil, can you come over here for a second, buddy? We're going to bring Phil on the podcast here, even though he's illegally wearing a tank top. Phil, can you tell me what's the greatest thing that you've learned from Kevin, watching him go through all these things and come out the other end a badass?
I've known Kevin for about 8 years now, and been through a whole lot with Kevin. I can only imagine. And I remember first going to see him at the hospital when he flew out to Colorado to Craig Hospital, and we were just there, just shooting the shit with him, and somebody made a comment about him going to get something, and it just gets real quiet, and he goes, "Oh, why? Because my fucking legs don't work anymore?" We're all like, "Uh-oh." And he goes, "What, too soon?" We're like, "Yes, dude, too soon." So just going off that, I mean, he's always been super positive, and it doesn't really matter the situation. He's just always got a positive attitude about everything, and he just wants to help people. And that's why I try to spend as much time like I can with him, just give him a hand with whatever he needs, because I know that he'd do the same for me if I was there.
Usually carry me upstairs. It's probably good for his back squat.
Probably so.
230-pound like lunges, basically.
You should probably tell him about the Airbnb in Columbus at the Arnold Classic.
We were at the Arnold this last year, and we get an Airbnb out there, and I call the guy. I'm like, hey, like your listing says that it's not quite accessible. I'm like, I just want to know what that means. I'm like, is it an open floor plan? Are the doors this wide? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, so what makes it not accessible? He's like, there's just a few stairs to get in. I'm like, it's just a few stairs. He goes, yeah. And I was like, all right, well, we can manage a few stairs. Like, that's not a big deal. And Megan and Phil were flying out there a day earlier than me and our friend Buddy, because Megan was competing. And I get a text from Phil that night. He's like, a few stairs? There's fucking 17.
It was a flight of stairs, 18 stairs.
And so each day to get out of the Airbnb and back into the Airbnb, what I call Yoda-ing all over Phil's back, where I hung onto his back and he carried me up the stairs, and then I would flip around backwards and they would lower me down the stairs, all 18 stairs.
Sounds super convenient considering you weigh like 240 pounds.
Yeah, it was great.
It was literally like having a 230-pound baby on your back, just holding on for your dear life, and you're trying to hold on to his legs. It's just hitting everything.
And you're like, I can't fuck this up.
Yeah.
Right?
So he's just back there just like whispering things in my ear. I'm like, dude, I'm going to drive you down these fucking stairs.
And, I mean, as we said earlier, not a lot of control with when I decide to do things. So, like, farting up a storm. Just like with every step, just
pushing on your stomach.
Every step.
That's great.
It earned me the nickname Senior Frog Butt. So,
Phil, thank you for sharing that with us. Appreciate it. Senior frog butt.
Oh my god.
Good luck with your dick, Senior frog butt.
that's a great T-shirt idea.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It'll be funny to us. That's all that matters. Hey, it was awesome having you on the show, and I think
thanks
the
for having
word
me
I
on.
think of after hearing him kind of describe you a little bit is just courageous. You have a lot of things going on, and you've dealt with a lot of things that a lot of other people don't have to deal with, and you've dealt with it like a true hero. So it's fucking awesome to have you here. Really cool to have you in the gym. It was awesome training with you yesterday, and I'm fired up to get some benching in with you today.
Yeah, I'm going to warm my arms up a little bit for that.
I'll be crying about all my injuries,
Yeah.
I'll be sad about my elbow, and you can tell me what a bitch I am, and we can go from there.
Hey, your elbow can hurt. You can feel it. Like, my legs won't hurt. They'll be fine.
There you go. That's an important
Leg aches
point.
don't affect me. That's
Where can people find you?
on the interwebs. I mean, it's just Kevin Ogar, either on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, or at the gym, CrossFit Watchtower in Englewood. I'm there most days, all day. So that's the easiest place to find me. Not the best at getting back to emails.
I think a real important message from this whole thing, too, is just if somebody gets hurt, like on any level, somebody ends up in the fucking hospital, call them, get around them, see how they're doing, check in on them.
Absolutely.
It doesn't really cost you anything to call or text people. Just hit them up, see how they're doing.
And don't be afraid that you're going to say something wrong or say something stupid, because they're just going to appreciate that they have someone there that's willing to call and talk to them. Like, if you say the wrong thing, they'll either get over it or they won't. But at least you tried. And if they're going to get mad about it, they're being a little too sensitive. They need to harden up.
And the hardest thing to find is like normal.
Yeah.
And it's just easier when people act normal.
Yeah. Like for me, it's making jokes. I mean, I have a whole new slew of jokes I can make from a wheelchair that I can get away with now that I couldn't before.
Exactly.
It's like the episode of Seinfeld when the
You
dentist
have
switched
women
over to Judaism.
sitting on your lap all the time.
Oh, all the time. Yeah. My fiance is fine with it. She finds it hilarious because I get super uncomfortable. So
Get all embarrassed.
Oh, absolutely.
A ginger flush going.
I mean, that's pretty much like a perma flush. Like, we're always pretty much red.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Multiply your hustle, multiply your muscle, and may all your shits be tapered. I'm at Mark Smelly Bell on Instagram and Twitter. Later.
Shout out to all of our sponsors, 8Man Strong Apparel at 8manstrong.com, bodybuilding.com for all your supplement needs, Compex USA for cutting-edge muscle stim machines. Get 28 additional % off with code PowerCast. Increase your bench at howmuchyoubench.net. Power, the only strength magazine available in both digital and print at thepowermagazine.com and
Reebok.com, home of the Legacy Lifter.
I'm the Jim McD on all those social medias where I want you to find me. Follow the show on Instagram. We are at Mark Bell's PowerCast. And we're out.